DoorDash recently finished their Q3 2024 earnings call. It's about an hour-long call that you don't got to listen to. I'm going to summarize the most important points in this video. And during this call, we heard things like Dasher incentives and where that's going, the future of delivery, and if they won't really need Dashers anymore because it's going to be autonomous, grocery, and new verticals because they've been in that space for 4 years and where it's going. So let's get into it. Let's talk about those driver incentives. And that was actually one of the last questions that specific investors asked on this conference call with its CEO, Tony Xu, and Ravi Unnakonda, CFO. Now, Ravi took this one really talking about the traction that DoorDash is seeing with you and I, Dashers, and higher retention. So let me ask you, when did you sign up for DoorDash as a Dasher, and how long have you retention stayed on the platform? Did you do it for a couple of weeks? You're not really doing it anymore, or have you been dashing more and more, let's say over the past couple of weeks and months? Ravi said by streamlining the onboarding process and making things like pay easier, just access to pay, that yes, Dashers are staying on the platform longer. But will they even need Dashers in the future? There's a lot of discussion right now in the AV or autonomous vehicle space. So is that the direction that DoorDash is going in the future? Now, CEO Tony Xu took this one and he detailed that DoorDash has been working on autonomous delivery for years now, really since 2017. But he also noted, this is important, let me know if you agree with this, that delivery, autonomous delivery, is quite different than autonomous ride hail, because autonomous ride hail and Uber and other companies are working on that is once the vehicle arrives to the destination, that's, I guess in this case, the person, the product, whatever, it's automatically unloaded. The person gets out, another person gets in. But Tony mentioned that's a lot harder, saying, quote, it's more tricky in that last 10 feet to actually get that product out of the whatever it's going to be, autonomous vehicle, drone, what have you. Tony didn't really say much more about autonomous delivery. I don't think it's something you're going to have to worry about, at least in the short term. Yes, they're working on it, but as Tony detailed here, it is most likely harder than they initially anticipated. Turning our attention to different delivery types. There's two here. They talked about DashMarts, the in-market convenience centers in your marketplace, and then those new verticals. Let's start with that, the grocery space. Tony mentioned they're excited about what they're seeing in their grocery space in cohorts, just the demographic of customers that are ordering on grocery, actually saying that more and more new customers are finding DoorDash first, not through food delivery, but through grocery. They've had, quote, tremendous progress in the about 4 years that they've been in the grocery space. And this is all I do. I track stuff like this, in this case, new verticals, as far as what to look for as a courier. So that means, okay, I used to just get restaurant deliveries. Now I'm getting retail, convenience, alcohol, and in this case, grocery. They actually just announced a partnership with Wegmans, and they were asked specifically, does the traction with Wegmans really encourage other even larger grocers that may not be on the DoorDash platform yet? Is that encouraging to get those larger cohorts and partners on the DoorDash platform? If DoorDash can get even larger grocers on their platform, what does that mean for you as a Dasher? That means you might see more grocery. That means you might be able to service those large grocers that you just can't on DoorDash. It might be on Shipt or Instacart, but it's not on DoorDash. I think as a Dasher, that is really going to be leveraged by their somewhat new Dasher preferences feature, where I can go into my account and I can turn on or off things that I don't want, including shop and deliver. Personally, you can comment down below if you'd like to see this. I would like to see more just load and go grocery. So I just go to the grocery store, I park in the pickup spot, an associate loads it, and then I'm off to my delivery destination, a la most every other grocery delivery app. Shipt has it, Walmart Spark has it. In the same question, DoorDash was asked about larger basket sizes. So what is that? It's just more stuff, a larger actual basket size in order here. So think about your grocery offers on, let's say, Shipt and Instacart. What is the average item count that you shop for? And I ask that because just mathematically, the more items you're going to have to shop for, it's going to mean typically more time in that grocery store. Now, Ravi did comment here, they're not necessarily thinking about it like small versus large basket sizes. It's just helping the customer. And Tony, in this case, actually cited European markets, where European customers might place several smaller basket size orders throughout the week versus, let's say, waiting longer and placing one large basket order. So that means while DoorDash is continuing to focus on and they're continuing to lean in this new vertical, specifically grocery, that they might be smaller item counts, which I do like. Personally, I typically turn off shop and deliver on DoorDash's preferences. You can let me know if you do the same here. But if you do keep shop and deliver grocery on, it might not be 30, 40 items like competitors. Okay, what about specifically those DashMarts though, the in-market convenience center? And is it gonna grow? And as a Dasher, might you see more DashMart requests? I mean, on my recent shift, I got a stacked order that was $24 for 2 DashMarts. It was good mileage. Will we see more attractive DashMart offers? Here, Tony said they're excited about DashMart, just their retail partnerships, and it's gonna come down to choosing the best items that's gonna be in stock, that's at or better than the prices that a customer can find elsewhere, let's say at a regular retail center. So if DoorDash can optimize on those things, the logistics process, having items in stock, picking and packing fast, so when a Dasher gets there, they can have a faster delivery than if you just left and got it yourself. In those circumstances, yes, you might see more DashMart offers. And lastly, let's talk about just generally other things that are growing the business for DoorDash, because if we can think about kind of a 3-pillar model here, it's merchants, it's customers, and it's Dashers. If DoorDash, and something that I feel they do well, just adds more and more partners on retail, convenience, grocery, whatever it's going to be, then hopefully that all means more order volume. And that is something statistically, quarter after quarter, that DoorDash is showing. They're continually increasing the marketplace order volume. So customers are simply ordering and using DoorDash more. One interesting partnership is this pairing with Lyft. DoorDash's subscription model, Dash Pass, which was talked about a good amount and is echoed on most all of these quarterly earnings calls, DoorDash now having 18 plus million Dash Pass members. Just last week, they announced this partnership. DoorDash and Lyft partner to unlock exclusive benefits. Dash Pass memberships now also include discounted Lyft rides and free priority pickup upgrades. Lyft riders will receive free 3-month Dash Pass trials. So possibly anything that gets more impressions, or as Tony called at-bats here, just chances to get more consumers, that again means more and more customers using DoorDash. But on the other side of the coin here, how many, and we talked about retention, if they're signing up more and more Dashers, how would that affect you? What is outpacing each other? Are they getting more merchants? Are they getting more Dashers? Is it an equilibrium? Do you think there's an opportunity truly to get more offers? So in summary, we saw an emphasis on new partnerships, specifically on grocery. We saw questions about Dasher incentives, albeit we didn't get really any concrete numbers here about peak pay, any specific strategies with driver incentives. They talked about the future of autonomous delivery, and it's not quite as, let's say, bleak, not using Dashers as some might think, as that proves to be a little bit more challenging than they thought. And then lastly, looking to build, obviously, always more customers and different order types, strengthening DashMarts, the grocery that we talked about, and more, that might lead to more orders. But then we talked about rising competition, just your marketplace and how many Dashers there are. So let me know in the comments here, are there actual concrete improvements to you as a Dasher? And this is just a very brief summary of what DoorDash is actually adding for Dashers. There's new features. We recently saw round-trip deliveries. There's also possibly negative things like the Dasher item audit that I talked about. There's always the cash on deliveries. And then there's the missing drop-off photos that we talked about as well. So on a net whole, do you think it's positive, negative, or neutral, or maybe somewhere in between for DoorDash and you as a Dasher?